I'm Ranjit Gajendra, the chairman of the board of EV Inc., Eastern Volunteers as it was previously known. Was part of the board from about 2012. So I was a member in that early phase and then went through the changes, including the change of name, and have been chairman of the board for the last 5 years. In a nation like ours, it's almost impossible to expect everything that people need, want, and require to be provided by the government. So you bring both these together, and what you're trying to do through volunteering is providing the opportunities for people to become part of society, to actively engage with society, and for services and other aspects of life to be provided even when there is a minority. It's only for a few people, but we are able to provide it through a different mechanism to what is normally a government or private sector or a corporate responsibility and tradition. So my own journey with volunteering started in a horrific experience of having to be part of a refugee camp of thousands of people who've been affected by ethnic cleansing. But what I do see is heaps of benefits that have come through to women, to people who live with a disability, people who are new to a particular country. Every one of those groups have benefited through volunteering. So that's kind of given me the confidence and the passion to continue with what I do. You're not going to get it right the first time. You will talk to people, some opportunities may arise, you'll be knocked back a few times. Equity is always an issue when it comes to things like volunteering. I think there have been barriers of language, there have been barriers of cultural sensitivity, there have been barriers where my intentions and what the community or organization required at the time were not aligned. Barriers can be from language to everything else, but it's how the people who organize those volunteer opportunities or yourself are able to navigate becomes quite important. It's in a lot of societies, volunteering is ubiquitous in terms of, it's just what communities do. They don't call it volunteering, right? But they get together, you get things done, they move on to the next. And then there are other societies where it's become very formal. It's got a definition, a requirement, a legal framework, which, all of those are important because we're trying to protect the individuals, protect society, protect the participants. When equity, inclusiveness became part of this narrative, what was required was a place around the table, if you will. For those who were living with a disability, LGBTQ community, people of different cultures and so on, women even at that stage, it was required that there be a seat, a table where these people come together, that there was an opportunity for them to be seated. That is no longer the case. You cannot just say inclusivity is to provide an opportunity. Inclusivity is for providing an opportunity that is taken up, that is actually utilized in full, so that every one of these individuals, whether people of color, people of different backgrounds, people living with disability and so on, every one of them not only have the opportunity but actively engage, are able to be participating, to be heard. It is essential for organizations to have access to the right members to come together. But I think once you've gotten through that situation of identifying people and bringing them on board, there has to be a mechanism to actually invest in them so that they build their capacity, whether it's governance, whether it is collaboration. I think for them to actively participate in that organization, not just from a governance perspective, but in being passionate about what's happening, it'll be good if there were ways in which we could build capacity.